Almost back the other way with a pick. It'll bring up a punt and a 3 and out. Starting for their own 17. Mahomes takes it down the line. It's straight option pitch. Pacheco on the edge. You may not get it because it may give you something new.
Oh.
From the 8. Mahomes on the run. Kelce in the middle. Kelce touchdown.
So not only is he a great receiver, but he starts by chipping. And he comes out and he makes sure the protection is good. And then when you have Allen dropping off and then he whips those shoulders around, Patrick Mahomes knows, okay, he's ready. Let me go ahead and just throw the ball. So there, help with the protection. Just turn around.
From 50 yards. Missed 4 from 50 plus this year. That's a good looking kick. And a huge confidence boost for Harrison Butker. Jaguars Riley Patterson. Lawrence cannot escape. He's brought down to the middle by Clark. His third drive of this first half. Pacheco bouncing to the outside. Pacheco in a foot race to the sideline. Pacheco out of bounds at the 5-yard line. They'll now mark him inside at the 3.
What you don't realize about this big guy and this hard runner and the guy who punishes people inside, he also runs the 40 in 4.39 seconds. And you've sort of been waiting all season for that moment where he got a chance to flash it, and he flashed it there.
Second and 8, bodies crisscrossing, comes back to Ingram. Willie Gay couldn't make the play, but Frank Clark did. And this Kansas City defense has come alive. Mahomes starts from the 39, protected and throwing a crossing route, and Noah Gray breaks open to the 34-yard line. Big first down gain of 27. Operation good. Kick good. Play action to start it. Pressure on, and Lawrence is down. Darren Notty. Only points of the quarter. Chiefs field goal. They're up 10.
Got one-on-one on the outside left if he wants it.
Snap comes back to him. The pump and the throw to Juju. Caught it. Flag is down though. Second and 3. Pitch back to Kadarius Toney on the edge. Big hit at the 10. Toney keeps going. He's going to be out of bounds before the goal line. And Mahomes steps up, throws to the back, touchdown! Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
It's off your right foot in the first half, then you get hurt, and you come back and you throw a jump pass off your left foot in the second half. Just make it up out there, Patrick. Just make it up.
6:14 to go. 4-man rush. Lawrence looking. Fires to the corner of the end zone, nearly intercepted.
And none bigger than that.
Going quick from the 9. Gets it out. Agnew at the 5. Lost the football. Free in the pile. 4 Chiefs are there. Pretty much the ball game on this recovery. Kansas City has it. Snead has just come out of the medical tent, but has not been given his helmet. Second and 6. Pressure on. Lawrence puts it up, and it's intercepted. What a play by Jalen Watson. Tried to get it to Zay Jones. Justin Reed was bringing the pressure, and Watson reels it in.
Justin Reed's going to get the immediate pressure once again. It is the scheming of Steve Spagnuolo that got the free runner and got the interception for Jalen Watson. So it is the rookie. He's been playing well. He had the monster play in week 2 against the Chargers that flipped this season around and comes up huge there.
Lawrence throwing towards Marvin Jones, goes up, incomplete.
All righty. Yeah, there we are. All right.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
Welcome to another Victory Monday here at the Red Hour. We are live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House, the corner of the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, and the divisional round of the NFL playoffs for this season. Done and done. There are 4 left standing, and we're here to talk about it. Welcome in. I'm your host, Sean Tyler. To my left, as always, we have Dr. Radio himself, Cousin Darren Smith. What's up?
Man, I am excited. We're down to the Final Four. What more can you ask for?
You sound like a man who hit his parlay this weekend.
I did hit some parlays this weekend. Now, once you put my business,
you can smell the money on it. You can smell it. To my right, we have nephew Steve Walls. Nephew, no Dallas Cowboy blue today. What happened?
Sorry, man. We'll be back next year.
They are. Well,
you sound like
yeah, I'm still putting up the
wrong
still wrong.
Football team.
Yep, it's always new year, new me.
right.
And
That's right.
the Cowboys, this is our year.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's still hook 'em horns. Like that how you do it? Hook 'em horns? I don't know. Nah, we'll be back. It's all right.
yeah, they believe that every year.
Unc still loves you. It's all right. It's all right.
Cool.
And to our right, the far right, he's called it all season. His guys were the number 1 seed in the NFC and still sitting atop, waiting to do their thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Fan of the fly, go chicken, go fly. What is it?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Got you a little choked up.
Choke
didn't it?
myself up with that one. The infamous DJ Q. What's
We
happening?
here, man. Yeah. Still got 2 teams left actually 2 games left before my Super Bowl prediction comes to fruition. So
All right.
Oh, so is that an early indication that you're saying the Chiefs going to win this week?
no, there's still 2 teams left. There.
Okay. Y'all heard what I heard, right? I just want to make sure that I'm not.
I ain't heard nothing from you because you said Cowboys were going. Yeah, you really believe that up until this weekend.
Okay.
So
all right.
whoa, Nelly.
Because even when he said it in week 1, we were like, okay.
And every week after that, I still looked at you with a little
All right.
disdain in my heart. Like,
Yes.
there's no way. You were really the
And
Cowboys.
there's only one other person ahead of me that is still, his prediction is still holding true. So what happened to y'all's team? Let's talk about that.
Team lost.
Hey,
your
my-
team lost. When did they lose? Before they didn't even make the playoffs. I just want to make sure. I don't
You
remember.
talking to Sean?
my,
right there.
my guy was hopped up on mushrooms all season.
oh,
so-
okay.
Well, who was your NFC prediction?
Bucks.
Bucks.
Green
You
Bay.
say
Green
okay.
Bay. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be the
thought
State
you
Farm
were
Bowl.
Green Bay.
All I know is my team was still playing this week.
All I know is
That's all I know, Q. That's all I'm saying.
let me get this right. Let me
all
get
I
this
know
right.
is your team was also at home with.
Hey, yeah.
Well, hold
'cause
up.
Steve
He's taking pride in the fact that his
His team
team made it to
again.
the divisional round for the 60th time
Hey,
and never walked past
Hey,
that.
look, we did what they said couldn't be done. That's
Hey,
all I'm
No,
saying.
what you did,
no,
what you
no.
did was what we thought they were
Yeah,
going to do.
what you did was what was expected.
Yeah,
No,
what you
they-
did
they-
was what we thought you were going to do.
Hey,
You had Dak.
when
You
do
had
they-
Dak Prescott.
When do they normally lose?
Whenever Dak Prescott gets to the
No,
playoffs.
When the season starts.
Steve is the king of like celebrating the almost.
Man, and I know you were raised better than to celebrate mediocrity.
Yeah, it's all right. It's cool.
Jesus.
I just know that my team was in longer than y'all's team, so they lasted long.
That was a perfect
no.
spot for that's what she said joke, but I'm gonna
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna mature a little bit and
Yeah.
walk right past
But
that.
Because
That's all I
last
know.
I checked, I think all 4 of us got the Chiefs still playing.
So here's the thing. The Chiefs once again have a 1-score win
Mhm.
and live to see another day.
Hmm.
So this past weekend in the divisional round, we had it was the Giants in Philly, Cincy and Buffalo, Dallas, San Francisco, and the Chiefs and the Jaguars. So we knew coming in here how the national sports pundits just do what they love to do with the Kansas City Chiefs and count them out. They just knew
they were doing that all day.
that the superhero with the super nice blonde hair was going to come in and all was going to be right in the world. Trevor Lawrence is It's amazing. That kid you can't stop him. He's unfazed, and he's got that arm and the charm, and gosh darn.
Those Goldilocks.
Man,
Yeah.
Trevor.
That's what they say.
Sunshine.
The Florida boy.
Trevor will never see the championship from that division. I'm just saying. It's
You
done.
don't think so?
It'll
Not
be a
this
while.
year. Not this year.
It'll be a while. But Trevor Lawrence made a great showing the weekend before last, the wild card round. And that made everybody go, there's no way this Chiefs team, who kind of hobbled their way into the postseason, could win against Trevor Lawrence. And for a while there, we were proving them wrong. And then Trevor looked like he was on that comeback train. But the Chiefs prevailed and do what they do in these situations and do just enough to get by. And that's all it takes. We learned playing sports as a youth that only takes 1 point to win.
Facts.
That's right.
20-27, Kansas City Chiefs over the Jacksonville Jaguars, which now puts us into this weekend where we are once again hosting the 5th annual Arrowhead Invitational. And it was up in the air because of the whole Damar Hamlin episode, and we had to play in a neutral site. So everyone just knew that Buffalo was going to win against the Cincinnati Bengals in this. I guess you could call it a rematch, even though it wasn't because it's postseason.
I did pick the Bengals.
And they knew this game was going to be in Atlanta, so much so that in a week's time, 50,000 tickets were purchased to that game.
People were excited about that.
I want to know,
Well, there were a lot of people upset by having to buy
I want to know what the
tickets.
breakdown was on the who purchased the tickets though. Like,
It was
how many people?
25,000 apiece.
Huh?
It was 25,000 apiece.
You talking about from Kansas City?
Yeah, from both sides. They had 50,000 allotted, 25 apiece.
Oh, okay.
And they were going to release more, but it was beautifully set up. One side of the stadium, they were going to sit all the Bills fans on. It's going to be college-like. All on the other side, it's going to be, Atlanta, here we come.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do
They're gonna-
this next year.
Nah.
They're gonna
maybe
vote
a
on-
year or
Cities
two, but-
won't allow
They're
that.
going to vote on that in the offseason, but the problem is that unless you rotate it and you keep it out of the dome,
And that's what,
it doesn't benefit the owners.
Because
of Chiefs or something.
I would think they would want it to be in domes.
Let me tell you something, youngster. There was a time in football where we don't give a damn. If your team was the number 1 seed and you played in Nome, Alaska, damn it, you earned that spot. Your game is going to be played where?
No more.
In Nome, Alaska.
That was back in your day?
Back in my day, even the Super Bowl
Oh, okay.
was held outside. There were snowy, rainy Super Bowls. It was nice.
When was the last outside Super Bowl? New York? When in New York?
Outside?
Yeah, there was a Super Bowl
Oh,
outside.
you're saying a cold
A
Super
cold
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Cold,
Yeah,
cold.
it
Super
was
Bowl.
in
I
New
mean,
York.
cold city. I'm sorry.
saying Miami.
Cold
Yeah.
city.
Like what?
That was New York.
Yeah.
It was New York,
But-
right? Yeah.
I think that
You're right.
NFL teams
That
earn
experiment's
that
over.
right
Hmm.
to
Where's that?
play at home all the way through if you are still the top dog.
No, yeah. And
So this whole cuddly, cushy, sit inside where it's plush so they can do, I mean,
cash is king. And I mean, I think that was like the litmus test of like, okay, we'll put out 50,000 tickets, and they sold out.
but that's when
That
they
was
were,
going to happen, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but that was back in the day when they played in leather helmets. When football was a
Yeah.
man's sport.
in your day.
Ah!
But I think that I think that cold weather Super Bowl thing, like that experiment is over.
And the only
Well, it only
reason that's
happened
over
once.
with now is because back then it was the Super Bowl. That was the main focus. That was it. Now it's Super Bowl week. And there's a whole lot leading up to the Super Bowl where
And
you
that's
have the NFL experience and you got all these parties and events all week long leading up to the Super Bowl.
But also look at it from this angle that the Pro Bowl is lessening. So
Well, the Pro Bowl is lessening because it just became a problem because of injuries.
I mean,
And-
yeah. And so when you look at that 2-week window, like, yes, the NFL may move towards that neutral site. One,
It's
I
got to
think
get
it's-
24 votes. That is not going to get. This is the one.
These owners are too. These owners. It's all about the bottom dollar, man.
It is.
And
They
that's-
want
And the
money too
NFL is
much.
fastly becoming the new WWE.
and that's what I think the NFL wants to push for that again for the dollars aspect, because yes, you could have, it could roll around.
The one part is that the owners are not going to want the breastplate from the fan because again, it lessens the need to have a number 1 seed because you only get one home game.
Yeah.
But even if that's the case, we know the NFL is only caring about dollars, not players, because players keep talking about the injury on these fake fields. And
but if I'm Jerry Jones and you're telling me that I'm only going to get 1 game worth of sales of hot dog, because he owns everything in the stadium, right? I mean, if he's only going to get 1 game worth of Coke sales, hot dogs, I'm not going for that.
And by Coke sales, you do mean the soda.
I mean, the soda. You're right.
We're talking Jerry Jones here, so we don't know what he's got.
That could go either way.
We don't know what Jerry got.
But if I'm an NFL owner and I want to be able to make sure that I'm bringing in that extra money,
well, Jerry,
that's not accounting for.
Well, Jerry, you would have extra games in your beautiful stadium if you had a quarterback worth his salt that could get the team past
wrong team usage. If I'm Clark Hunt, for instance, I want that extra money.
And Clark Hunt ain't missing out on no money.
And I think
he would be if it's going to a neutral site.
Well, that would suck.
I think that's who would have the most grievances, teams that are in the smaller markets.
Or because they don't have these owners who have built these multi-billion-dollar stadiums and trying to recoup money, because now they're doing all kind of events at these stadiums just to try to, make ends meet, because their teams suck. They put money into that facility.
What was the new stadium that we talked about that already has their college games planned out if they're able to get a stadium? I can't remember who it was. Who's building a new stadium? And they've already
Chargers building a stadium?
No, it was they have already had they have the college games, they have so many other events that are 5-6 years down the road. Dang. If they're able to build a new stadium.
Yeah.
Chicago, maybe.
Because that's how they're pushing the voters to.
Chicago will end up getting that too, and especially looking at a city like that, and it's so much traffic.
Chicago needs to buy a new football team. But beyond all that, let's get back to the task at hand here, and that is this weekend. It is championship week, and the Chiefs will once again hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, and the San Francisco 49ers will be playing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So the top 2 teams in the NFC made it all the way through and will be playing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 and 3 will be playing in the AFC this weekend. So just to give you an idea of what's happening here, because sports pundits, before we take our first break, again, have just totally ignored the Chiefs. So again, the most consistent team in the NFL in the past 5 years. The most consistent and prolific quarterback in the past 5 years.
The winningest team.
The winningest team and quarterback in the last 5 years. And they're still counting this guy out, all because he's played Joe Burrow 3 times and lost 3 times, twice at home.
Yeah.
Twice at home.
That's his new Tom Brady.
Or whoever you want to call him. His crutch,
because Tom Brady was a thorn in his side, so.
But we've had thorns on our side before.
Small sample size. He's been a thorn in Kansas City Chiefs side, not Patrick Mahomes.
Because Pat hasn't beat him. He did beat him.
He beat him once.
Well, I'm talking about postseason.
So here's the thing.
Small sample size, Q.
I'm just looking at all of these sports prognosticators through the past couple of weeks who, in the beginning of the season, looking back, picked the Buffalo Bills to go all the way in the AFC. There was no way any of these quarterbacks in the AFC could beat the new king of the NFL.
Or win the MVP.
And they had it all going Josh Allen's way until Josh Allen started looking like Josh Allen in the last 3 weeks of the regular season.
Or Dak Prescott.
We're talking about quarterbacks, though. And going into the postseason. So the game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. Watching that game, Q, what did that tell you about those 2 quarterbacks? Because those were still the 2 quarterbacks that they were talking about, because they just knew once Tyreek Hill was gone that the Chiefs would fall flat on their face. And that's why they were crowding these 2 to do everything that the AFC needed.
I think everybody definitely wanted Pat to prove that he could do it without Tyreek. I mean, that's such an X factor that it's expected, but I mean, Pat, he exceeded expectations.
But it almost made it seem like they were saying without Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes was nothing. Like he didn't have any other weapons. Like his actual most go-to weapon was Travis Kelce. And they just totally overlooked that.
And I could give kudos to Juju and MVS because they definitely got better as the season progressed. But I think part of that is that Andy has one of these complicated offenses that it's tough to come in and get acclimated, which both players kind of came from a system like that. Because I mean, you have a guy coming with MVS coming from Aaron Rodgers, a system with Aaron Rodgers, and then Juju coming from a system with Big Ben. They did a good job in transitioning.
So while you're talking about systems, Kyle Shanahan has a quarterback's system, and it's proving to work with a backup rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant in
Brock Purdy
right now. So we've had this conversation throughout the season this year about how some of these systems are just fit for certain individuals. And if you take somebody out and put them in that spot, then you're going to get the same output, if not better. And
I think what that is that the league over the last 3 to 4 years has finally seen that the prototypical quarterback is not what you need to win. That's not the winning formula. So yes, the guy that touches the ball needs to be athletic. So no more of the Eli Mannings, no more of the. So are you calling Brock Purdy athletic?
Well, you calling Joe Burrow athletic?
Well, because you're talking about two quarterbacks who don't typically do anything outside.
Because Joe Burrow has some sort of escapability. Sometimes
Joe Burrow just gets the ball out in 2 seconds. That's his escapability.
But you're not going to call
him. And you saw
him
the game against the Bills where he did run, and
you're not going to call him a statue. Like Tom Brady wasn't always a statue, but Tom Brady, you knew he was either going to throw the ball away or he's miraculously going to run for like 4 or 5 yards, and he can do that.
Right.
But like the league now, yes, when you look at the Brock Purdy's, when you look at the Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is an anomaly because of his size, but he can still run. He's mobile. And you have a couple of different guys across the league that are just a little more athletic. So yes,
the argument could almost be made now that Josh Allen is probably a better quarterback when he is running.
But we've seen these quarterbacks without their star wide receivers. We've seen Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs. We saw what kind of quarterback he was. We saw early on in the season what Joe Burrow was able to do without Jamar Chase. They weren't winning.
But when we talk about Kyle Shanahan, let's keep in mind he does have Trent Williams on that left tackle.
Yeah, best left tackle in the league.
What I'm saying. So it's a big difference when you got him blocking your blind side, and you've got talent around you, a Christian McCaffrey, a Deebo Samuels, Ayuk.
So
that allows.
Hold up on the name dropping on the 49ers, because we're going to get into that because as we talk about this championship week and these games coming up, we're going to talk about, is it more of the supporting cast that is making some of these teams?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah,
and part of that, I think, is the team has kind of stayed the same because the team hasn't changed much since the 2019 Super Bowl team. Defensively a little bit. I mean, and they're probably about the same or just as strong back then defensively.
Strong. But once they added Christian McCaffrey, it's something is like unlock a cheat code. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take our first break right now. This is the Red Hour. We're live from the historic 18th Divine Jazz District. We're here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House, and we are talking championship week. The AFC and the NFC will go head to head to find out who will be playing in Arizona in February. So stick around for that. Don't forget, there's great food down here, fun. The bar is ready. Kenny's back behind the bar, so you know you're going to get a good stiff one and a good drink too. So come down and have a good time with us here at Soiree Steak and Oyster. She didn't hear that because she would have thrown something. We're here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House, waiting for you to come down and enjoy more football talk as we come back in just moments with the Red Hour. And we're back. Soiree Steak and Oyster House is where we are, the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. It is the Red Hour talking championship week. The NFC, we've got the Philadelphia, what are they? The Philadelphia Eagles going against the San Francisco 49ers. And in the AFC, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. And the AFC will have the late game on Sunday, 5:30 on CBS. And 2 p.m., the early game with the 49ers in Philly on Fox 4.
It's Central Time?
Yes, at 2 o'clock, Central Time.
Okay. We got some people that's watching from.
Well, then know your damn time zone, people. I don't work for y'all. Jeez, wait. I'm in the Central Time zone, damn it. I'm Gumby, damn it. All right, so let's talk about this NFC matchup, first of all. So these two teams have, from game one, been a dominant force in the NFC. They never, ever wavered. San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts got hurt and was out for a little bit. And he came back and just took over where they left off.
Yeah.
So with this matchup, what can we expect? Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown, Goddard, he's got some weapons around him, but does he have?
Say that one more time.
He's got some weapons around him. Is this a good matchup?
This is a hell of a matchup because
and they haven't played each other.
Not this year. But if you stop and think about it, the divisional games were more defensive battles, and now you see a team on offense on both sides. Man, I mean they're good on both sides of the ball, and so it's really going to be a real chess match between the play calling on both the offense and and I do like the defensive coordinator for San Francisco. I'm interested to see what type of game plan he comes up with for Jalen Hurts and his weapons.
I mean,
D'Amico Ryans, I believe his name is.
Jeez. So is it more beneficial in the AFC for the matchup with the Chiefs and the Bengals, who have some familiarity with each other this season, as opposed to the 49ers and the Eagles going at it, and they haven't seen each other at all this year?
Well, I mean, they've seen each other.
But they haven't played each other.
They haven't played each other, so you're not able to fill out the other team.
So it's different than watching it on tape than being out there and what's going to happen because.
Yeah, and I think when you look at, like you said, the teams in the AFC, like the Chiefs and Cincinnati, we talked about them playing, what is it, their fourth time playing in a matter of a little over a year? Yeah, so they know each other. And that's what Andy Reid said earlier today. It's like, hey, we know each other. We know exactly what we're going to do. But then when you look at the 49ers, they have some new players. They got Christian McCaffrey, who is like, all right, he's a great addition to the team. And they don't know exactly what he's capable of because you haven't played him. You don't know what exactly they're going to do.
And we have only seen Brock Purdy.
Exactly.
7 games now.
See what I'm saying? And Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuels. I mean, he's got some weapons too, but in a playoff situation of this caliber in the championship matchup, do you think Brock Purdy is feeling any pressure? Because they've been calling Joe Cool because they say that he doesn't care. He's just going out there playing. He doesn't have any anxiety or whatever, but Brock Purdy, he's got to be feeling something.
He's been fortunate that the games have been played
in San
Francisco.
In San Fran. But the biggest difference is going to be not only that it's going to be on the road in Philadelphia, but this, now granted, he did well against Dallas's defense, but this is, I think they have the number 1 ranked defense. Philly's got the number 2 ranked defense. I think he has not faced a defense like this, that's even better than Dallas, that I think is going to give him
and that's what's going to be tough with him, I think, for him, is if
in
the
a hostile
Eagles,
environment that he's going to be
if the Eagles are able to put pressure on him, especially as a young guy, because I mean, you talk about their offensive line. If that D line can get them rattled, I mean, there's a chance they can win. But still,
but on the flip side of that, both sides, you got Trent Williams, you got Lane Johnson on the other. I mean, so,
and I think this game, it may come down to like who can run the ball the best.
Man, they can both run it. That's the crazy part.
Have we seen a lot of pressure though on Brock Purdy? I mean, he hasn't seen Like Reddick is
he was under pressure a lot. I mean, he was under. I mean, they couldn't really get to him, but
that's what I'm saying.
It's
It's one thing to be under pressure, but he hasn't like been hit.
This 49ers team is night and day from how they started. Where they start 3-4. They lost 2 straight, I think, against Atlanta and then the Chiefs.
And the last game they lost was the Chiefs.
But Brock Purdy wasn't he wasn't quarterbacking then.
It was Garoppolo.
So he's only been winning since he came in. So it's like, all right,
but he's been winning.
Yeah.
And again, he hasn't, and that's what I'm saying. He hasn't really faced what he's facing in Philadelphia come this week.
And could you attribute the winning to bringing in a new face like Christian McCaffrey? Because that was the game, was the Chiefs.
I think,
First game was the Chiefs.
Because it allows Deebo Samuel to be able to be more of a wide receiver than it does.
And Deebo did get hurt in that game against the Chiefs.
He did. Yeah.
But I think the other thing though, man, we can't downplay it. The defense has been. I mean, D'Amico. I think he might actually win Assistant Coach of the Year because of how the team has played, and could get a head coach job. I mean, that defense has been outstanding. Nick Bosa is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award based off of his play.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, I just think it's going to be a good chance. It's really going to be hard to figure out who's going to win this game, and I think it could be who has the ball. You know, who's the last team that has the ball.
Well,
Lamar Wallace on our Facebook chat says people got to give Purdy some credit. He's still able to make plays, and he has not turned the ball over, which is huge for a young guy.
And that's why I asked you earlier about Shanahan being a quarterback's coach and having just this game plan where it almost feels like Garoppolo out, 30 in. Here's the ball. Let's go.
He hasn't really had like a top talent at quarterback.
No. I'm sorry. The biggest key though has been Brian Greasy. He was I don't know if he played in the NFL, was an announcer. He left the announcing booth and became the quarterback's coach for the 49ers. So that's who's been working with Brock Purdy, this season along with Garoppolo. So he's gotten him prepared. And as you saw, it's been a seamless transition from when he came in.
Like Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, who is this guy? You're talking about a rookie who is playing in.
Yeah, because Lamar said he was a 4-year starter at a D1. I wonder where that is.
I think it was Iowa, wasn't it? Iowa State, I think it was.
He didn't go to Metropolitan Community College?
Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State.
He went to Iowa State?
Yeah.
And that's that's
he played against Jalen Hurts.
Tough school.
I think they beat him 42-41.
No slouches, but
so he can play.
But watching him these last few weeks in the NFL, you're still amazed at how it's almost like.
I mean, a lot of these young guys really do come in prepared now.
But here's
and I won't say you don't see them really falling off of a table, but when you look at guys that get quality starts, quality time, the team actually puts time in them. Pat Mahomes.
Don't get it twisted though.
How come Dallas can't get a backup quarterback?
Don't get into it. He's in a totally different situation. You got an offensive line where you're not getting. You're not getting the.
And I was going to say the O-line in San Francisco is a safety net for Brock Purdy.
So it's Philadelphia, but the biggest thing we got to keep in mind. Coaching matters. I mean, and
these are 2 young coaches that'll be going at it.
But Shanahan comes from a dynasty of coaches.
Yeah, I mean, his daddy, and I mean, he was the OC in Atlanta.
And he also has the 28-3 thing over his head too.
There's that.
But
and the Chiefs lost.
and
the Super Bowl loss.
As I was saying, he wasn't. He's never really had that top tier quarterback because even then he had Matt Ryan.
Well, he was MVP that year. So.
Jimmy G. You can't say he wasn't top tier.
Hold on.
He's better than Dak Prescott.
I'm talking Jimmy G before he got the money.
Matt Ryan was the league MVP that year. So he was the top quarterback.
Jimmy G was.
They got to give the award to somebody.
Nah, I mean.
He
earned that award. He still earned it.
And he may have, but
he's at a top.
All right. Well, here, let me ask this question before we move to the AFC side of this conversation. Who would you like to see play in the Super Bowl if the Chiefs win this weekend? Do you want to see a Chiefs 49ers rematch, or do you want to see?
Man, they said win, not if.
Well, you got to put some respect on that.
Yeah, they said win, not if. If was a fifth.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys got the word or not, but this is not a call and response type show. I'm hosting here. I'm doing what I do. Eat your hot wings, lady. Let me do this. So, if the Chiefs win this weekend and they go to the Super Bowl, who would you rather see?
I think that's a question for y'all, because who would y'all rather see? Like,
do you want to see the rematch, or do you want to see?
Say?
It don't matter.
It don't bring them on.
I don't repeat everything.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat everything you said.
And I honestly think this Chiefs team would want to see a more inexperienced quarterback in Brock Purdy. But I mean,
honestly, I don't even think they thought.
I disagree with that.
I don't think they care. I think they want to get past this game first.
Yeah,
but
they've got a Super Bowl grudge on their shoulders, and
I think the only person that really cares and has looked beyond is Travis Kelce, just to be able to face his brother. I mean, in a Super Bowl. That's the only person I think.
But if you're asking us right now,
it'll make it easier on his mom's travel schedule too.
Well, one of them be at home, so
that's what I'm saying. But she's like, this weekend, she's like, I'm going to Philly to watch the game, and then I'll go to a bar right afterwards so I can see the Chiefs game, because I'm not going to be able to do both. So she's already figured it out. But to be in Arizona to watch both of her sons play will probably be the greatest joy of her life.
Yeah, I think she did do it last year. If she can make the end of the,
she can leave at halftime.
Yeah.
What she already said, she's staying for the whole game because she came here for the divisional.
Yeah.
So she wants to go see flip flop. So she said she'll do that. So
I guess we'll give you our prediction later for that. But
yeah, because we're going to do all that because it's only 4 men standing, so 2 games to choose. All right, so let's go to the AFC.
Yes.
So the big question looming over the National Football League right now is this high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
So we watched Henny come in and do Henny things.
Anything is possible.
And
he had a higher quarterback rating than Patrick. So is he assistant quarterback, or does that only work for the Eagles?
Patrick,
I'm trolling.
You are trolling.
Let's
and Henny's a veteran, so he's prepared, and we've seen him come in situations.
Minshew is pretty much the same,
and I get it, but we haven't seen Minshew have to come in and step in and right away go right into the end zone and then go back and take a seat. And we've seen Henny do this several times in several postseason games.
He did lead the team to a playoff win too,
and that part. So
system quarterback,
or just a good backup quarterback.
Just a good backup. He's Chase down.
You know what he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
But stop looking at him
because he want me to go down there, and I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, man. I'm just not going.
He's still on punishment right now.
Because he was the cheerleader, like, oh, Minshew did a great job.
Yeah. So you're still in timeout for the most part. Who roots for the Cowboys? All right. So because we don't know what his practice week is going to look like this week. Mm-hmm. And we've heard about these high ankle sprains, and they already told us it wasn't as severe as they thought it was. And we saw him come back after the half and do Patrick Mahomes things.
What's worse, turf toe or ankle sprain?
I've had neither.
Okay.
But
it's probably turf toe.
But I'm willing to bet you'd rather not have either.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many players miss a game over an ankle sprain versus a turf toe.
Well, remember, Harrison Butker had a high ankle sprain. He was out for damn near 6 weeks, wasn't he?
Is he back? He was looking like he was kicking for Dallas for a minute there. So
call him Mayor. Come on.
Let's hold up. I got it. All right. So so if Patrick is either going to come back in a limited capacity or come back, I guess it'll be limited capacity either way because he's still, is going to have that injury.
He'll have a boot on. It'll be taped up.
No. Patrick will be just fine. Yeah. Look, even Shannon Sharp said, they will shoot that kid up. He won't feel nothing on Sunday. He will be ready.
And adrenaline, man.
He will be ready to go. Patrick will come out.
All I know is I saw words come out of Patrick's mouth this past weekend that had me cracking up because I could only hear.
He wasn't PC this weekend, huh?
In his Kermit the Frog voice screaming those expletives at the coaches so he can get back in the game. And I'm guaranteeing you the call came down from Brett Veach upstairs or somebody was like, hey.
No, the call came from Clark.
I don't care who Jesus calls. Like, hey, that's $500 million. Get him into the locker room. Haven't looked at for real.
I've seen Patrick black out from a concussion and come back in 4 days. So I don't think a high ankle sprain is gonna bother him.
But Patrick slammed his hoodie down. It was like, I hate you, Dad. And they took him off to the locker room.
Patrick came back from what, a dislocated knee or something, and
Yes.
wanted to come back the Denver game. You know, they like
Patrick gave birth in one game and came right back breastfeeding and threw for 225 yards.
I hate you right now.
I seen it with my own eyes.
Oh God, I hate you.
But everybody's talking about this ankle. That's going to be the storyline of the week as we lead into this game, because Bengals fans are already saying if we lose this game, that's going to be the excuse. Patrick wasn't at 100%.
Yeah.
And
Players too.
Players, and they're already on social media talking about it.
Yep.
So we're talking about a rematch for the ages, because this is the one team that has been, pardon the pun, the Achilles heel to Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs squad. In 5 years, all that he has done for this team, and hosting the 5th annual Arrowhead Invitational, and he can't get past Joe Burrow. Now, I'm asking you, do you think that a Cincinnati Bengals team could take down Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs for a 4th straight time?
Do I think they can? Yes.
Why do you say that?
One, I saw how they played yesterday in inclement weather, and they played with a serious chip on their shoulder, which, you know, I mean, after the game, you know, talking about refund those tickets, because they felt like, the league slighted them, you know, by canceling the game and not allowing them to, you know, put that game at a neutral.
So let me counter that.
Well, yeah.
So, and I had this conversation with some people earlier about the Cincinnati Bengals playing with a chip on their shoulder, because they're selling tickets to a game that they're selling tickets to anyway, because every year when they have the playoffs, they have to be prepared for whatever's coming in next week. So this is not new. They were going to sell tickets to this game regardless. But are you saying that was a bigger chip than the Buffalo Bills playing for a teammate who died twice on the field in front of them, came back and was at the game, and even went into the locker room at halftime to give them a speech? So do you think that was not a greater passion to play for, that the Bengals were just that upset about selling tickets in Atlanta?
Well, no, well, you asked me why.
And I am. Yeah. That's why I'm like,
again, I mean, everybody has different reasons for their extra motivation. I think Joe Mixon talked about it, where he thought it was a real disrespect. You know, it's one thing to have the neutral site announced, but it's another that Friday before the game announced, well, we sold 50,000 tickets for the game. Like, well, damn, I mean, can we have the game first on Sunday? If they win, then you can announce that versus. So
I guess my question is, did the Bengals really win that game, or did the Bills lose that game?
The Bengals won that game.
Okay.
They won the game.
I think what you getting this point in the season, I won't say it's tough to lose a game, but I think you really outright win games. I don't think. When's the last time we've seen a fluke win in the NFL playoffs?
Yeah. And here was my counter to people talking about, well, the Buffalo Bills, they were playing for Hamlin. It was number 3. You mean they saw their team, and I was like, you know what? The Bengals were out on that field as well. Mm-hmm. The Bengals players were just as shook as a fellow football player in this league lost his life and was brought back on that field in front of them. So they could have still been playing with just as much passion as they were for Hamlin.
And I mean, the Bengals really show you what kind of team that they are, because I remember week 4 and 5, they were counted out.
Bengals, yeah, that's what I was talking about. You didn't have Jamar Chase.
This whole season, it was Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. They never counted in Cool Joe and this Bengals squad.
Here's the thing, and it's interesting because there were turning points. Biggest turning point for Cincinnati was their Monday night loss on Halloween against the Cleveland Browns. They got embarrassed, but they didn't have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon came back the next game, had 5 touchdowns. One of the things that, I keep going back to coaching and how coaching matters. They do things that Andy Reid was forced to do Saturday, but would not have done had Patrick not got hurt, which is running the football. And they had no problem running Joe Mixon in that snow against Buffalo to counter set.
And I want to direct this to you.
Yeah.
P. Ryan and Mixon. Mm-hmm. And we know that the Chiefs have about as much ability to stop the run as fingernail polish on pantyhose.
Yeah, because P. Ryan ran for 100 the last time.
Yeah.
So, do the Chiefs give up on the run like they usually do, knowing that they have a semi-hobbled quarterback?
Nope.
This is a game built just for Pacheco.
I think we got the chance to see Pacheco yesterday and what he can actually do if you're consistent with it. I mean, and Jerick McKinnon, he didn't even have 30 yards, if that. Yeah, so I just think they're gonna go more with the run. But here's the thing about Andy Reid is he's able to adapt to whatever is out there. And he's not gonna put Patrick Mahomes in a situation to where he's not gonna be successful. That's just how Andy Reid coaches.
But he was forced to because, again, if Patrick's not hurt, he's probably trying to have Patrick go for 300-400 yards.
Yeah, I think.
But I'm saying, but he was able to adapt. All right, we're gonna keep you in this pocket, and we're not gonna do things.
But again, he adapted because you put him in it because you didn't know what was going to happen.
Of course,
so, I wish Daniel was here because my real question is Spagnuolo.
He's been killing it. He's been killing it.
But all season long, I mean, for years now, we've watched the run destroy Kansas City's defense. Yeah. And this team coming into Kansas City, who won, feels like they own this squad.
And they should feel like that.
2, it's looking like, hell, we might as well be coming at home this weekend.
They're really confident.
I think 2 things.
And to have Mixon and P-Ron playing like they are at this level right now, coming into Kansas City.
I think 2 things that these defenses really made sure this season that wasn't going to happen. One is the fact that you've got to stop the run, right? We heard Colin Saunders talk to us here. He said that was his thing. He's got to make sure he's a run stopper. Chris Jones, they can get after the quarterback, but he's going to make sure that he stop the run. The other thing is, like I said, they want to get after the quarterback. They haven't been able to get after Joe Burrow. They haven't been able to get after Josh Allen. That's the key.
Well, and what's Chris Brown's sack record in the playoffs?
Chris Brown. I mean, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
You got to get after the quarterback.
Well,
you can get 5 and 6 sacks on these terrible quarterbacks, but you got to get after the guys that matter.
So who does the most damage to us this weekend? Joe Burrow or Mixon P. Ryan?
I think it's going to be that run game.
I
think it'll be a good mix, but yeah.
This the key, and I posted it.
And before you say that real quick, Willie Gay didn't have the best game when they played in the first matchup.
And it's a night game?
He didn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be 9 degrees on Sunday?
So
is it?
It's supposed to be 12, the high.
So what's key is, again, the matchup. I know we're talking about Andy and what he's going to do. It's going to be Zach Taylor, the head coach from the OC, basically going up against Spags, because you got to remember, they faced this team 3 times, and the Chiefs have led all 3 games and, before giving up the lead. But it's always been a matchup issue because we always figure out somehow, some way, how is Jamar Chase wide open? And then, of course, you look at T. Higgins and Boyd and Mick, so the pressure's going to be on Steve Spagnuolo to dial things up because, again, even though the Chiefs have had the lead late in the ballgame, they found a way. But, again, you put yourself in a situation where you've given up big leads for them to come back. And,
and we haven't even mentioned Jamar Chase, who put up 2 1/4?
Yeah, you got the thing about that matchup and going after Joe Burrow is that you're going to give up something on the back end. You've got to be able to maintain that coverage while you're getting after Joe Burrow.
And that's the flip side of it, because again, we talk about how much you have to get pressure, and Chris Jones, of course, I mean, he had him wrapped up and still couldn't bring him down. The biggest key is, look, they only had 1 sack last year on Burrow, and that was Melvin Ingram.
Yep. They
only had, I think, maybe 1.5 or 2. I know Carl Loftus got a sack back in Cincinnati, but you need your stars, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, putting pressure and getting them down, because you have to bring the quarterback down, and you got to bring him down hard. The problem is he gets the ball out so quickly. So that's where the chess match is.
Buffalo was able to do it yesterday.
Do what?
They was able to get after Joe Burrow a little bit. They rushed him. He just and that's the thing. He always finds Jamar Chase,
and that's the flip side too. They got 3 new linemen because the 3 starters have gone out in consecutive weeks, and he was still able to do. And they still ran the ball for Mixon had over 100 yards rushing.
You think the Chiefs' defensive line is better than Buffalo's defensive line right now?
Yeah, because they don't have Von Miller. Yes.
Okay. That's
and as we always talk about X factor, Mine yesterday was the defensive line. Yours was the linebackers, and so there's going to be a big, especially if they run the football.
Yeah.
What is Nick Bolton? How does he perform?
And that's one of the things Nick Bolton takes a lot of things personal too.
All right, so we're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we're going to talk both of these matchups because we only have 2 games to choose from coming this weekend because it is championship week. So there's the NFC Championship game and there's the AFC Championship game. One hosted in Philly, the other here at the Arrowhead Invitational, the 5th annual.
The Icebox.
The Icebox. We'll talk about it when we come back. We are live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, talking playoff football. It's the championship week here from Soiree. It's the Red Hour. We'll be back in moments. Just listening to Q spout those stats from the last time they met. And it was the AFC Championship game.
No, this
season. The first game. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, we're back. Soiree Steak and Oyster House, live in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. It's the Red Hour. It is championship week here in the NFL world. This Sunday, we have in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers and a Brock Purdy going up against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wait, I smell some wings or something. I just smell some wings. Yeah, I
smell wings. Those are Eagles wings. And the Philadelphia Eagles playing on Fox 4 this Sunday at 2 p.m. So let's go ahead and talk our picks for this NFC matchup. We'll start with you, cousin.
Man, I swear, as much as I hate to ruin Q's prediction, part of me really wants to go with the Eagles, but I can't lie. It's got to be the Eagles because I really do think we're going to see the rookie come out.
Brock Purdy has met his match.
I just think the crowd, I just think the atmosphere is going to be too big for him. I think DeMeco Ryan calls a great defensive game, but at the end, I think Jalen Hurts and his legs and his ability to move around the pocket, it's just. I think there's going to be too much, but I think it comes down to the end. I think the Eagles win 21-20.
Okay, so you calling it close?
Yes.
It's funny. I saw someone else say that there was going to be a 1-point game as well. I find that interesting. All right, nephew.
I just think San Francisco's going to have a tough task trying to guard A.J. Brown. I do. I think Travaris Ward, we know what Travaris Ward is.
Oh, yeah. when they called his name yesterday,
we've seen Travaris
several
Ward
times.
And that's the thing, because I mean, both teams present matchup issues on both sides. And that's, I mean, it really does come down to coaching, man, and
coaching and quarterback play
and turnovers. Because again, that's what hurt Dallas yesterday was the turnover.
Is that what hurt Dallas?
Yeah, two picks. Y'all ready to stop disrespecting my Cowboys?
Picks are when Dak Prescott throws. What are we calling this?
So I'm sorry. I do believe that Purdy has a turnover.
You had your turn. You had your turn.
No, man, but still.
You had your turn. Pipe down, sir.
Go for it. Go for it.
Eat your chicken wings.
To answer your question, I think the Eagles are going to win this one. I do. Jalen Hurts, man.
Close game or blowout?
It's going to be a close game.
1 point close game?
Nah, it's going to be less than a touchdown.
All right.
Give us a score.
That's tough, man.
Give us one of your 41-14.
No, I think it'll be more 27, 24, 30, 27, somewhere like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going with the
Eagles.
All right, go chicken, go it is. All right. So Q, we already know who you're going with.
Yeah.
But
of course you know.
What's the score? What's the point differential?
Final score, I want to say they put up 30, but I also don't want to say that. So I like where Steve was at in that 27 range. So I'll say 29-24.
Huh.
29.
Eagles. All right.
Eagles.
So we'll stick with you and come back this way. And I'll make my pick. So
Clean sweep.
Oh, Lamar Wallace says Robbie Gold last minute field goal.
I was going to say
I wouldn't doubt that either.
But with this game being in Philly and the 49ers having had the comfort of playing in San Francisco these last few weeks, I think the loss of that comfort zone is too much to overcome for Brock Purdy. And this game goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. But I say it is going to be a lot less scoring than you guys have it.
Yeah.
How's the weather in Philly?
I just looked it up. It said it's a high of 50.
Yeah, 50.
It's be a good game.
The defense
that could
would
go
travel.
more towards the
defense
49ers.
Yeah.
See, but the defense's 49ers would travel. The question is that offense, man. That's chess match, man.
Offense just has to click, and I
wish we was
again if they could.
I don't know, man.
If they could rattle Purdy enough, and that's a if, because we've seen them just be a cool customer. If they could rattle them, I think they can get the edge. But I mean, San Francisco is just a good team. I think San Francisco is probably the only team I didn't want to see in the NFC.
And that's the problem. That you get the offensive line mixed with two legit weapons, man.
And then two teams that can run the ball.
And as I'm sitting here trying to come up with a score, I'm perplexed because I keep seeing McCaffrey and Kittle in my head.
Literally, I'm thinking about you just because you said Kittle. That's key, man.
Jeez. This is a. You know what? Just because I need to throw some salt in the game, I say the 49ers walk away with this one, but it'll be because of their kicker. He last minute field goal, and he wins it for the 49ers because I just see McCaffrey and Kittle just having a damn good time. And you say it's going to be 51 in Philly?
Yeah, the high of 50.
Dang,
no rain?
Get that weather.
No, it's
yeah, and I see this one being the 49ers by a field goal. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I just know that 3 points.
23-20. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Not on a 50-degree day.
And that's the other thing. With the weather now, that makes a huge. All right, so I got the 49ers in this one. All right, so sticking with you, Kansas City, Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm where you're at because I think Cincinnati is coming in with a lot of confidence. But I'm just gonna stick with my Super Bowl pick. And I'll say the Chiefs get vengeance. 44.
Huh?
Ooh.
Do I want to go high as 44
in 11-degree weather? Good God!
No, he don't want nobody by that ankle. He gonna be throwing his ass off.
Yeah, I think he's gonna throw like crazy. I think Pacheco has a really good day. They might get a couple of turnovers.
And Kelsey really wants to see his brother in Arizona.
I'll say
he'll know
38-28.
Wow.
All right, nephew.
I don't think it's gonna be the high score.
A couple things, I guess. I'm reading the chat, and Croy Thompson said, "What can be done differently to stop the Bengals this time?" I mean, I think you got to cut the head of the snake off. You got to get to Joe Burrow, and then secondly, you got to
call some turnovers instead of giving them up.
Yeah, you've got to stop Jamar Chase. I think the secondary for the Chiefs are a lot more developed now than they were the first matchup.
Somewhat.
I think you're gonna have. You didn't have Trent McDuffie in the first game. You're gonna have him now. You also got Jalen Watson, who's playing pretty well. You've got Juan Thornhill, who's playing. The secondary has been.
And Thornhill's a player I wouldn't worry about.
Yeah. I think you're gonna be able to do some different things. As
Let
far
me
as
throw the
Steve
special
Spagnuolo
teams
goes.
in the mix.
If it comes down to
I trust Butker.
special teams has been terrible. Like, look, they got 2 run backs yesterday to at least the 40-yard line.
9 degrees
return.
and Butker.
Why did your eyes light up like you just watched Dak Prescott lose all over again?
I don't know. My pick might change, but I mean, I'm staying there. I'm staying there.
He's better than the Dallas kicker.
And the only other thing is Travis Kelce. He's gonna be the X factor. I saw a few of his friends after the game, and I saw their shirts. Feed the horse. That's what they're going with. Feed the horse. And it was a few weeks, and Darren talked about it yesterday. It was a few weeks that Travis did not score a touchdown.
So if you're taking this long to make your pick, Darren is going to be here until the game starts.
I'm just saying that you got to feed the horse. Travis Kelce is going to be the X factor in this game. Yes, he is. I'm going with I like the 35-21 that Natalie Sullivan put on our chat. So 35-21 Chiefs.
All right.
In 9-degree weather.
Yep. All right, Dr. Parlay.
Well, since I got a few minutes, I'm gonna take my time. No, tell you my concerns. My biggest concern is going to be what Steve Spagnuolo dials up and how the defense they can get Cincinnati to where they settle down and they can try to go back and forth. My issue is going to be Cincinnati is going to want the ball, even if they win the coin toss, they'll take the ball first because if they feel like they do my thing, my quarterback's better than yours, we're going to go down and score right away. If the Chiefs can if they can stop them right off the bat, get them 3 and out, and they come down and score, then we got ourselves a ball game. My biggest concern is whether or not Andy Reid whether or not the team will learn the lessons from the 3 losses that they've suffered before, and whether or not they will make in-game adjustments and live adjustments. And
all 3 of those games were 1-score games, like 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points.
Turnovers. You can't have turnovers.
You got to play a clean ball game. Look, Patrick only had like 20. He only had 223 passing yards. I mean, and
one touchdown, one passing touchdown.
So I think he's going to try to get everybody involved. But the players, they've got to make catches. This might be the one time I go against myself and actually go with Cincinnati in this game, making it 4 in a row. But I'm not going to do it. It's my money is on Cincinnati. My heart is going to be on the Chiefs to make a lie.
What's your voice saying?
My voice is saying put everything on Cincinnati. But
he's picking Cincinnati.
I'm picking Cincinnati with my wallet, but I'm picking the Chiefs to.
How does that work? Like you.
No. Hey! I win both ways. If Cincinnati wins, I win the money.
He's a numbers guy.
The Chiefs win.
And he reads.
And he reads.
But I think the Chiefs learned a lesson from the 3 losses. I don't think it's as high scoring as you all have it. I think, but I do think that the Chiefs put enough cushion to where it won't come down to the very end. I think the Chiefs win this game 28-21.
Okay.
Oh, is it my turn?
Sure, go ahead.
That moment of silence was brought to you by Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. I don't see Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs allowing the Bengals to come back here after what they did last year on that field and take them for 4 in a row. I don't see that.
And the Lamar Hunt Trophy again.
Right. The trophy needs to stay at home where it belongs, at the home of the Arrowhead Invitational. And I see it happening. And it's going to be a very cold day. Not the playful snow that Joe Burrow and his squad were able to have fun in this past weekend.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you quick why you giving because you talked to kind of, I don't know if you were joking about how playing with a chip on your shoulder for Cincinnati with the whole ticket stuff, but the Chiefs playing with a chip on the shoulder because of how they lost the game. Patrick choked last year in the game, and you see the Bengals going off with your owner's father's trophy. Don't you think they have a chip on their shoulder to make sure it doesn't happen again this season?
I don't think that's where the chip is. I think the chip lies in the fact that Patrick Mahomes' pride is on the line with
That's
this
it.
Joe Burrow
Yep.
coming in
That's
to
fine.
his house
Yep.
to beat them for a fourth straight time.
And if they lose, what does that say that they host 5 AFC championships, only have 1 Super Bowl?
It
Oh, no, we said it.
says,
We talked- I thought
it
that was
says
what it
that Patrick Mahomes is going to have somebody slip the Cincinnati Bengals bus driver a note giving them directions, which lands them at the landing parking lot. And Patrick Mahomes is going to whoop his ass in the parking lot. And it's like, if I can't beat you on the field, take this 2-piece.
One thing right quick, because I know we basically going to overtime, but one thing we haven't talked about is the offensive line and the blocking again, because if Orlando Brown
And they still have missing pieces. And even though it meant nothing
I'm talking about
yesterday,
the Chiefs.
I know, but I'm saying the O-line and has 3 missing pieces for Cincinnati, but it meant nothing yesterday.
Yeah, but my thing is, how much pressure, as we saw, how much pressure is on Orlando Brown on Sunday? Because we saw, again, he, right or wrong, Patrick should have got the ball out.
The pressure is on everybody that is wearing the red, gold,
Patrick's
and white.
blindside.
But the whole thing is, they got beat in the fashion in which they normally beat everybody else. They're down in the first half. They come back in the second half and win. And it was just, I think it's just too much for Patrick's pride to allow that to happen for a fourth straight time in 13 months.
Yep.
I say the Chiefs, even with a hobbling Patrick Mahomes, wins this game. And I think this is the game where Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs win by more than 1 score.
I think whoever wins this game is going to be the Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, and to the dismay of the NFL, I think it's going to be a San Francisco Chiefs rematch.
All I know is for everybody, because I've seen all the shows so far. Everybody outside of Nick Wright is picking Cincinnati to win this game.
That means something too.
And absolutely, and the only reason they're picking Cincinnati is because the way Cincinnati played against the Buffalo Bills and the fact that he seems to own Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs with 3 straight wins.
And this is, they're making it seem like this is for all the marbles.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins this game is the best quarterback in the league. And I think no matter if he says it or not, Patrick sees that. And it ain't.
And that's nonsense because 5,000 yards to Joe Burrow's 1,500 yards for the season. Come on, man, shut up.
I mean, he had his weapons
He
out.
did. So there you have it, folks. We made our picks, and we will be back here. Hopefully, we have 2 more shows, but we'll be back here nonetheless on Monday to discuss what happens in championship round to play for the NFL this weekend. 4 teams standing, 2 teams survive. Who will it be? We'll find out when we come back here on the next Monday, a week from tonight, here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House. But before we leave, we want to send our prayers and condolences to Steve and his family on the loss of their matriarch, a.k.a. Nana, Dr. Kay McKelvey. She was a beautiful soul, and she's with the Angels now, and may she rest well. And again, our love and condolences to you and your family. And we'll be back here next week. So be well, Kansas City, and we'll see you on a week. It's the Red Hour.